All right, everyone. We are at the end of the day. We've got our last session of the day. We got an awesome panel on connected platforms. I'd like to welcome our panel up to the stage.
I'll speak less, but I want to kick it off. What is a connected platform all together? Because I just want to make sure the audience understand. When we talk connected platform, it can be different meaning for a lot of different people. And the good thing is, this connected platform, as a company, we started as a connected platform only, and in the industry, everybody's now talking. And a lot of big tech companies, and I will not name them, ultimately to fill their gaps, because some started from a customer as a CRM company, some started from service management. Now they feel in the last 2-3 years what they do, because they have a one side, they don't have the two sides connected. And I think it's very important, and I know that we have our strategic partner, definitely PwC here, and we start having that conversation with them in the last 3-4 years and say, guys, and they got it right away, and we pretty much gone that platform approach as a connected platform to all the way to the business processes, to the integrations and all. And although let me just quickly share with you when we talk about the businesses of connected platform, what that mean in a very easy way. Utilities are, I think it's running.
It's running.
Utilities are being if we think about 4 years, even 5 years back, for all the good reasons, utilities have a CSBU, which is a customer service business unit, T&D, power procurement and all in all. They were all running good reasons in the silos, and nobody, for good reasons, the assets maintained by one organization's workforce, their customers are connected to the assets, they create the load, asset fail, is impact customer, asset fail, then workforce people go and fix it. And these were all connected and nobody was talking about connected, and we said, guys, we need to really have the one view for utilities and one platform for good reasons, which is downstream connected to the multiple systems. And we'll share that. I know it's going to be very busy slide, but I will share that what it take to build a connected platform. But I'll just go what do you generally see in the market, and what we see. And I'm not putting anybody on the point that people are doing good job, bad job and all, but it's always a quick fix of an API. And I think a lot of people think APIs are the very, very advanced thing. I'm sorry to say, but APIs are not advancing. It's been in the market for more than 20 years. Microservices, and I know that a lot of people talk about microservices, those been there for more than 10 years too. And if you have APIs from one system to another system, that doesn't mean you can integrate, because if both systems have to talk the same language from a data standpoint, from a use case standpoint, and we all know that how many systems, irrespective of standard systems, you talk about legacy systems, utilities build over the period of time, who connect the dots. And generally these dots are like that. We call as a weak link. I think it's not visible, but because it's been tied up. And we intentionally, these all images being created by our product team to demonstrate where we are. When it's not connected, it's a very, very thin line, and it breaks. And it doesn't pass that information we need. And for us, when we talk about connected platform, it's truly the people of utilities, the people who the utilities serve, which is the actual customer. I know that reference, we always talk about customer, but for us, it's a people business. How you build a platform for the people. People can be the workforce person in the field workforce, or the person in the service center, person can be the executive of the utility, or the person which is being served for the water, power, and gas. And when we talk about if we are not connected as a platform, then from a technology standpoint, irrespective of, we can talk about decarbonization, we talk about reliability, we talk about net zero and all the good stuff we cannot act on it. And I think we heard what from the team and executives here is, if people don't have the real-time information, if people cannot act on it, and the people are not the corporates, the people is not leaders and business unit, is people is everybody who's part of the ecosystem, which is billions of people. For us, it's a very important when we talk the connected platform. And again, I think it sounds like we're trying to market this, but this is the reality. And again, why we feel it's a very important to push, because when we talk to our industry leaders and our good reasons, our partners, they have all different views. It's not a good or bad view. They just have a different view because this is what they've been advised by tech companies and other SIs. Nothing right or wrong about it. At the whatever the moment, we all. I'm sorry. I give this example to a lot of people, because we all know that, doesn't matter how much healthy we are at home. When we are at home, we try to eat healthy. But when we travel, whatever is available at the airport, we'll eat that. Why? Because this is what it is. I think if nobody guide nobody for the right direction, nobody will get it. So for us, it is very important that we will share what is right. It's up to the industry to take it. But I feel very good, very proud. The industry is understanding the world of connected platform and why it is needed, what is needed. And I know it's a SCW platform slide, and these are the three products, three platform we built from a day one. We didn't found an opportunity to start building something. We never ever. We enhanced, we added functionalities, and it's very important why today we seen as an advantage for us, because we all came from the industry. We all spend the time in the utilities as a tech guys or as a actual business user. We have, I'm putting George on the spot here. George was a CIO of multiple utilities in UK and Australia before joining us, as a team. And I always admire George from a day one. And I said, and again, I'm sorry guys, I'm going to tell the story, for that, I met George when we were kicking off the Sydney border deployment. And that was my first introduction meeting for 15-20 minutes. And we were talking, and he's clicking and asking me the question. And I just built up that relationship. I said, George, can I just set up the 2 weeks, 4 weeks, because we are doing this deployment. Can we do 101? And that 101 become, I keep hearing his problems. He's keep giving me his ideas. I'm giving and keep talking. We built this bond, and COVID hit. And during that bond, I was very smart about this one thing. I told George, please, if you ever think beyond Sydney water, because I like that what your thoughts are about business technology, please come and join the family. We truly need the people who truly, and he's very passionate about that. I'm sorry, I'm sharing in front of everybody, but this is what we are all. We all came from this industry. We all come from the tech background, and this is what we built it up. And this particular so-called the graphics is real graphics. When you look, the customer, the workforce, which is assets and workforce, and the data we all collect. We can all talk about everything, silo products, left and right. If we don't have a basic fundamentals, basic connectivity is not available in the hand of the people who impact, doesn't matter the grid, which is customer and the people who manage the grid, which is the workforce people, and the assets, we all have that. And the utilities, if they don't have the 360-degree view for all that assets to workforce to the customer, I don't think so we can say we are 100% commit or 100% can operate better. And I think the good thing is we have the technologies right now. We have the solution. I'm sorry, again, it's going to look like I'm trying to sell myself as a team, as a platform. But I'm very proud nobody else have this connected platform, at least in the vertical industry. I'm sorry to say nobody, because nobody built it up from code. We internally in our product team meetings, product enhancement meetings with the team, I always tell, there's one graphics we have, I will show you later on, but I always tell people, if your DNA is to become a tiger, you will become a tiger. You cannot make the cat as a tiger. Cat is a cat, tiger is a tiger. So you build what you start with, and those engineers, we started to build the connected platform. And I think that's we feel very proud to serve our industry with a connected platform. And I will have this panel talk about, I know that I'm going to take a little bit more time, and I will play this, a quick use case, the video, what that mean. I know that I'm talking, the slides, when we talk about this, when you watch this video, you will see the outcome of why we are able to produce the Uber platform, Uber-like platform for the multiple utilities, but one of the utilities who kicked it and asked us, guys, we need an Uber-like experience for a customer. When the customer set up the appointment, first of all, they don't have any option to select when they can set up the appointment. And when they set up the appointment, can they have the windows for that? Good, no issues. When they set up the appointment, can they get a text when the customer is coming, just like Amazon? And like a Uber, when you book the Uber, and when somebody's coming to your home, can you know that who's coming? Is an employee of a Alectra or Smart or PG&E or a contractor? Who is that person? Because they said they have a lot of problem. People are knocking their doors and saying, we represent the utility and we want to do energy auditing and you need to pay $500 today. And they said, hey, we've paid the $500, we never got the rebate, because that was never been. So it was a fraud, it was information, how you create that system of a platform where customer and the workforce is connected in a single way. And again, the platform give you the experience better than Uber. I'm sorry guys, I tag Uber on the LinkedIn in 2018 when we beat Uber in their own rating in the App Store. They were running 4.6 and we rated 4.8. We become the #1 business app in the App Store and Google Play. And I really say, tag Uber team, Ingenuity, because I read their blogs. I say, thank you for inspiring us to become what we are today. I'm sorry to say, but we beat you today. We are 4.8 and you're 4.6. So if you ever beat us, we will go and inspired by what you guys do, which is a fun part of that. Can you guys play the video? Good. sure you love it this. But anybody want to see the platform in the real time, please let us know. Harish is right here, He's a guy, in the team to get you anytime. When Harish is not available, George will give it to you. But this is what the fun is all about for when we talk about a connected platform. And we are able to solve, and we are able to serve to our utilities to solve the complex problem, to scale it to the point we can pretty much process millions of requests in our platform with auto dispatching, with knowing customer for the geo tracking and everything is a part of the platform. And that's why I'm giving a credit to Uber, because we learned a lot from UX standpoint and getting their geocoding, how you make it very precise to the pointer. And for us, everything is about this. Nobody can do anything by itself. So we had this 1,000 team members who are dedicated every day to do this. And I have this great panel. I will now leave it to you guys to start talk from Harish. We'll start. What do you think?
No.
Being a part of the STW team, what do you think about connected platform? And after that, I would like to take Mr. James' input.
Yeah. Now, first of all, I'm humbled to be on stage with all these great, stalwarts in the industry. But really, to me, like each time I see that video, right, I literally get goosebumps, right? Because one of the things I love, again, on a personal note, working at SCW, is because we're literally changing the world, right? We're really making an impact to billions of citizens across the globe. And to me, that's as important as having a job or having a career. And when you think about it, right, and again, just to take the analogy of Uber, I would assert and say that they have one use case, right? They show a beautiful car on a beautiful map and it goes from point A to point B. But the number of use cases, Deepak, that SCW has built on the platform, the connected thinking, right, and orchestrating, right, truly as a platform, single source of truth, parity across channels of engagement, and being able to enable a modular transformation over time so that utilities, the whole session, right, yesterday and today, we talked about how we have to continue to leverage existing investments, but how do you still bootstrap and transform, right? SCW enables that at the platform level. So it's beyond a point solution. I think it is all about, orchestrating, all the actors, be it a consumer, a data custodian, or be it even a third party, a vendor, and then tying them all together across journeys and across channels. To me, is just really transformative. So, really, really excited to be on this panel and discuss further. Yeah.
So I'll just add to that. So when we look how far we've come as an industry, in the past it was all these different, disparate experiences, not the same flow, and the inconsistencies and the problems it actually created for the customer service departments, to now where we have this unified experience of all your journey, your touch points, the channel you want to be communicated into, but also the language to me is important that you want to be communicating to. But that's stuff we have to keep respecting. And so it's given the customers that view of every aspect and journey they have within the utility, the way that they want to be engaged, and whether it's detailed or not, it's an exciting time. It creates a huge opportunity, and it always reminds me, there's a commercial out right now with TD Bank, where it's a guy in his 30s wearing a cardigan. He's like, I remember back in the old days when I used to have an app for my rewards and an app for my banking and an app for my finances, right? And everyone realizes that they have to change. The customers are demanding the experiences they get from Amazon and what they get from Uber. And so us as an industry, we need to educate our board members, our regulators, as to why this is experienced. This is what the customers need. This is what they demand, and we have to adapt to give them that experience.
Perfect, James. I'm going to hand to you, Thomas, first.
So I guess
I'll
I'm
be
going.
long-winded,
to
probably.
Yeah, I guess I'm going to be the doom and gloom kind of guy. So, Deepak talked about connecting the dots. Myself and team are the ones challenged with connecting all the dots for all the functionality for all of the business. And part of the challenge is that the solution set represented here represents a piece of that entire picture. So when he's talking about connect the dots, I was going back to being a kid and actually doing the 1, 2, 3, 4 and following the dots around. Well, the world that I'm supporting, it's not just one picture that you're connecting the dots on. it's a multifaceted, multidimensional picture. Because the intersection points, yes, there is how do you deliver the service to the customer, but then how do you do risk assessment of your assets? How do you determine whether you do preventative maintenance, whether you do repair and replace, whether you run to failure? All of those other decisions are multifaceted type decisions. And the challenge that I see from IT is when I started more years ago, we built an entire monolithic system. And it was being very difficult to do, but it was being built on a single set of principles, single platform, single team doing it. Now, spin forward to the world we're in today, we have solution vendors who are building part of that multifaceted picture. And now I still have with my team, we have got to connect the dots across all of those pictures. That to me is the biggest challenge around the connected platform. I believe that's what we need. So please don't take my reticence as a lack of belief. I absolutely believe we need to get to that. It is a very big challenge. Much bigger than simply what is represented here. This is one layer of what is represented. You have all the other layers that need to support a business that have to be interconnected.
Perfect. George, you want to go?
Yeah, thanks very much. The last 2 days for me have been emotional. I'll try and explain what I mean by that is, you know, we've been involved in IT for most of our careers, and I feel like it's a never-ending problem to connect the dots. We're always connecting a set of moving dots. But what's really hit me over the last couple of days in particular is how much you can really achieve when you connect the hearts and the minds. You know, when you get to the point where your workforce believe in the technology you're giving them, and we heard that from Burbank, we heard that from Alectra, we heard it from Tata as well. You know, how much can you achieve when the workforce is behind what you're trying to give them as a set of tools? How much you get when you get the customers' hearts and minds bought in as well by giving them the right tools. So for me, it's really about, you know, we have got to connect the dots, and I think a platform technology is absolutely the right way forward because it's a moving feast, and we've got to provide a mechanism whereby things can change in real time and connect in real time to create connected experiences. But that's like plumbing, you know, connecting experiences, connecting processes, etc. is almost like plumbing. But when you connect the hearts, then all of a sudden you get the power of goodwill from customers and workforce, and you can take a sort of quantum leap forward. And the stories we've heard over the last 2 days have been really emotional for me because you suddenly realize that if the organization is culturally effective and you win the hearts and minds of both your workforce, your partners, and your customers, what you can achieve to address, you know, all the challenges that we know about sustainability as well as operating as a very good utility, etc. It's just extraordinary. So I'm a fairly emotional person, and I like the idea of connecting to the hearts and minds, but you need to give the right tools to do that. You know, what makes us do something, what makes us buy a particular product or climb a mountain, it's because our heart is telling us to do it, not just our mind. And I think we've got lots to learn in that regard.
I love that you're going there, George. Brand strategy 101. Utilities haven't necessarily had to compete in a world where they're appealing to that emotional biases of consumers. That's for another day. So I've spent, as I said yesterday, 20 years of my life doing CISs. And it is those monolithic systems of back in 1965 or 75 when they built a VAX mainframe solution, they put everything into a CIS, from customer records, billing, all financial transactions, connected the dots to the service points, put all the equipment that's required to do that in there, put field service against it, and then premise information, all sitting within a CIS. And so I'll admit this and I don't mean this glibly, but as a recovering if you've ever implemented a CIS, you know how frickin' hard they are, how dynamic they are. People talk, well, why is it so risky? Why do they call them CIO or CEO killers? It's because everything is in there, and it touches every part of a utility. And so for 15 years, that's what we did. And I pulled myself out in 2015 and went on a few digital discovery, digital transformation journeys. And remind yourself, 7 years ago, everyone in this room, if you were in the utility industry and you talked about agile, people would look at you like you had a third eye. You talked about innovation, they would look at you like you had a third eye. You would talk about, we called it journey to the cloud. And everyone would look at me like I had a third eye. And even within PwC, people would look at me like, wait a second, what are you talking about, journey to the cloud? Well, journey to the cloud is the connected platform. And we started this campaign about 3 years ago. And if you think about it, a CIS has all that data in it. So let's just talk CIS for a second. When I first spoke to Deepak, and we see utilities across the globe trying to do CRM 5 years ago, 3 years ago, last year, and they're trying to build a customer capability into a CRM. And you all know the horror stories, I'm sure, about how difficult that was, how much money was spent, and how the outcomes that they were trying to achieve were unfortunately not achieved. It's the same feeling I had with CIS implementations. Big, heavy capital intensive, with promises of the business case that were put into that business case to implement a CIS. Unfortunately, CISs didn't realize those benefits. At least I can say that. Not that I didn't, it's not that our teams didn't do a great job. They worked hard, they got it connected. Utility clients worked their butt off to get it in. And yeah, the business case was about TOU rates. We want to do more and more TOU rates. That was the business case for the longest time. But when I pulled myself out and learned about iterative value delivery, and like I said yesterday, we talked to a ton of tech companies and ADMS companies and different utilities globally. And not only did digital equal data and iterative value delivery and things came out of that for me, but what came out of me and struck me was, wait a second, we are journeying to the cloud. What does that mean? That means all data that's being captured is going to sit and reside in one single platform somewhere. Not structured, completely all the data that's currently sitting in these applications that are nothing more than on-premise databases. And that data is difficult to extract and leverage in correlation analysis and insights, building psychographic or demographic segments, really getting to understand our data, and really what's that correlation between workforce, customer, employee experience. What does our GIS team think about this? Why am I having to do this API to my GIS solution? That, again, data quality, right? How often we would go to a client and say, do you have a GIS? Yes. Okay, can we marry those premises to our CIS implementation from a conversion perspective? Oftentimes, a non-named client here in California, they had vanity addresses. And in GIS, they had the physical APN actual addresses, but they couldn't match them to their millions of customers in that database because the data was mismatched. And so your GIS solution wasn't easily integrated into your CIS solution. So there was this concept that hit me that, oh, the cloud is how we're going to become a flexible, dynamic 21st century industry. And Michael's gone, right? So I can say this. If you think about a CIS, and we all talk about systems of record, well, suddenly a CIS can be down to its essence. It can be a billing component with rates. It can have your financial transactions. It doesn't need to collect payment information. You don't need to store that stuff. There's other solutions for that. And you can do adjustments there. And you can integrate that to your ERP system, but you don't necessarily need to keep the FTs inside the CIS. Now, premises and service points, that's in your GIS. That data is now in the cloud too, and that is done through SEW. It's getting us most of the way there. To your point, Thomas, it is a very dynamic and complicated ecosystem. But with SEW, you get GIS information, you get OMS information, you get the financial ERP data, you get the work management data, you get the customer data. And now suddenly you have an organizing layer of your data. And to me, when I first spoke to Deepak, I mean, I was all in immediately. And I can say this pretty strongly that there isn't a solution that I have seen in the market that creates the outcomes that this industry needs and where we are going. And I could not be more excited about having a partner like Deepak and the entire SEW team. Thank you for answering the phone at 3 o'clock in the morning, Harish. Appreciated. We have a long way to go, and Deepak will be the first to admit this with me. Doing something this complex, this new, this radical, it's difficult. It's incredibly difficult. I love it when I have partners within PwC say to me, or my CIO clients in some case, and Julia, I did ask you this question last night, we have some that say, what, this is just an app. Why don't I just build this app? Or why is this so complicated? That's immediately my trigger that, oh, they've never spent time in a utility. They don't understand the utility business model. This is about as complex and as hard as it gets. I come from the vintage of, I was stoked when you could get a PDF of an auto pay form, or you could do a start-stop, move-in, move-out service on a website that pumped a manual effort to the back office within the service center. I was stoked that that was possible. Well, now here we are sitting here in 2022, and all of that is possible now through your mobile device. And to me, that's the future, that's where we're going, and to me, that's what a connected platform is. And last thing, we've built an entire practice within our firm. I said yesterday I lead the customer practice for PwC here in the US for power and utilities. Well, I sit in a practice now. We reorged last July 1st into something we call the new equation, which is essentially what we're talking about these last 2 days. There is a new equation, and that new equation requires different skills, different competencies. And what we did was we created a connected platform practice for power and utilities. We have all of our EAM solutions in that practice. We have all of our work management solutions. And we're not talking, if something hasn't been, and I won't say somebody's name, but if there's a CIS that was really popular in 1998, yes, some clients still have those, but we're only talking about 2 at the moment that we have in our ecosystem that we support. We have our GIS team there, we've got our EAM team there, we've got our work management team there, and then I have the customer team, which is made up of my account capabilities, CIS capabilities, and CRM capabilities. And I'll leave with that it is my opinion also that utilities haven't had to compete, therefore we haven't developed the muscle memory of how to compete, create brand strategies, understand segments, psychographics, all of the things that commercial entities do to compete to win. And with these CRMs, if there's a wide open space, a completely flexible CRM capability, which we know they are now, wide open, if you don't have that intellectual know-how and you're trying to build it from scratch across service, sales, and marketing, and you're going to start with service because you want the customer 360, you want that agent desktop, you want all those service capabilities, it's going to cost you a fortune. And to date, I haven't seen anyone in the industry pull it off the way that SEW is pulling it off. So I'm all about sales and marketing and whatever that means for you, for everyone. But that's how we look at the world is, I don't need these monolithic solutions. What we need to do is enable the horizontal integration of these siloed companies that have been siloed for over 100 years. That's to us what the connected platform means.
I have a question for you, maybe for all of you, and probably the audience too, is this, given what you've just said, are utilities going to become platform businesses? We all know how successful businesses like Amazon, Airbnb, and Uber, and when you peel back the layers of what they are, they're platform businesses. They facilitate supply, demand, finance, logistics, particularly Amazon. You know, they're just facilitating all of those transactions. So is the utility of the future going to be a platform business? And I was particularly touched by Burbank in the sense that you sell telco as well as gas, electric, water. You know, that's a great example of a marketplace with multiple utilities where it's a concierge where I can go and do 4 things. I think it was gas as well, wasn't it? No, okay, but it's a place where I can go and do 3 things rather than have 3 separate experiences, and I sort of feel like that's the footprint or the blueprint for the future. So my question is, is the utility of the future going to be a platform business?
So 2 things. We could use the example for Alectra too, right? You're using a diversification strategy to diversify your businesses. And you talked, Brian, about that this morning, about the different businesses that you guys are building. Yep. And then, so as a platform play, why couldn't you roll SEW, SCM, your CX capabilities across all those businesses? Of course you will. And you'll have that data all in one place, and you'll be able to leverage it. So back in 2017, when we did that real big road trip on discovering what digital transformation meant, the idea of a platform play and the utility stakeholders that were with me, executives, we all assumed that the platform play would be an energy trading hub. That was the assumption in 2017. Here we are, fast forward, you're asking, is utility going to be a platform business? Absolutely yes, is my opinion. And you can see how the interconnectivity of everything, people, different utilities, cities, jurisdictions, systems within the ecosystem. Yes, absolutely, 100%. I could see the utility becoming a platform play, and I think it should.
I would just add to it that when you look at it, we talked about this before, that we had a demarcation point where we would stop at a certain point of helping the customer in our marketplace, right? And because we weren't allowed to go beyond that. And I think now what the customers are looking for is we got to make it easier for the customer. So that marketplace side is we got to take it to solve the problem, tell them what their options are to help solve the problem. And that's an area that we haven't gotten to before, right? And so that marketplace side of it, we have to add into it, but there's, the integrated platform allows us to get there. There's phases to taking advantage of this platform that we have to work with the regulatory side and everything. Yeah, exactly. So there's the opportunity of what the platform will give us and what the marketplace can give us and how we can help our customers. Our regulator wants choice. They want the customer to be able to see and understand their choice in the marketplace. And I think the platform can help let the customer understand what those choices are and how to solve their problems. So that's why this integrated solution is important for us.
And how you guys use the data for your disruptible. I know you and I talked about that yesterday. I thought that was a brilliant example. Here, Mr. Regulator, look what we can do for you. We have the data, here you go, and you get the positive reinforcement from the regulator. Wonderful.
Yeah. Tom, please.
Candidly, I'm not sure. Because here's the thing. There's a core competency that utilities have, and that's delivering an energy product in a franchise area governed by a regulator who tells you what you can and can't do. And I just, honestly, I don't know how and when. I think what's going to happen is that some utility somewhere is going to be the trailblazer, because that's what happens in the utility industry. Many of us are very late adopters. We look for somebody else to go and test it to get the jurisdictional approval, and then we use that as a precedent to come back to our regulators to say, well, they did it over here, why can't we do it here? So, as I talked about yesterday and so on, I'm still trying to get my company into this century, so I'll let somebody else go blaze that trail, and then I'll go follow you. Because I'm not sure, George, I don't know.
I sort of see where you're coming from, but I think put yourself in the shoes of the customer. The customer's going to want a single marketplace in which to engage. And if the utilities don't do it, somebody else will. There will be a marketplace aggregator surface, and they will aggregate all the services together. So I think my feeling is the utilities have a fantastic opportunity still to create those marketplaces. But if they don't, there's a risk that somebody else will. If you think about, and I know we overquote Amazon all the time, but actually they disrupted a market, the retail sector, massively by joining together all the people that can supply products with all the people that want to buy products on the demand side, all the payment providers that can make the transaction work, and the logistics that get the product to the point of use. That was a disruption, and I think the utility sector is it's right there to take advantage of it or be disrupted by somebody else taking advantage of it.
No, and again, just to add on, right, because I've had the opportunity to work with pretty much not only regulated markets, but also unregulated retail markets as well. And there's a different perspective, right? Like, for example, Duke Energy back in 2018, when I did those daily flights, or rather weekly flights to Charlotte, it's amazing. Duke Energy basically told me, Harish, we have unlimited resources, we have every possible resource that we can hire, but we realize that we are a utility. And our primary mandate and goal is to deliver great utility at a very good rate and provide quality of service. We know that you as a platform company will always innovate faster and will transform faster. how about we provide you with our roadmap and our vision, and you incorporate that into your platform and then bring that to scale and get it to market, right? So that actually may be, to your point, George, like, it may be a platform play, but the provider may be actually somebody different than versus the utility doing it themselves, right? Because otherwise then, before you know it, you're now a software company in addition to being a utility company, which primary mandate is to provide energy and resources and water and beyond. So, and then you go to a retail environment, like a retail energy provider in Texas, for example, or Canada or Europe as well. Then suddenly there's a survival instinct, right? You have to innovate to survive because their customer enrollment is critical, but also retention is critical. So that's where, again, some of those platform plays will also come into play as well. So it's evolving, landscape, yeah.
I think the threat of Amazon utilities, if we pull a label on it, is real, actually. Somebody will step in and say, look, if the utility sector doesn't provide me with the experience that I'm after, where I can join together gas, electric, water, telco, insurance, health, whatever electric vehicle transactions, etc., then somebody will eventually step in and they will win the hearts of the customer. And the customer probably won't care who owns the asset. They probably won't care who operates the asset. They'll care about the service they get.
Absolutely.
And the resilience.
I got to tell you, I struggle. I mean, I'm just thinking, as you guys are talking, I'm thinking about myself as a customer outside of the utility, and I'm at home. I get my electricity from one IOU. I get my gas from a different IOU. I get my water, sewer from a municipality. And it's going to take a while for somebody to be able to disrupt those three in the environment that they're in. And until it's proven somewhere, because I know like Gainesville Regional, which is a muni that does actually does 4 of the services, they have that territory that they own. It's when you come to where the services are delivered by split entities within their franchise areas. I just think it's a big step.
The European model, actually the UK model, is exactly as you just described. Even in the only thing that isn't a contestable market is domestic water. Commercial and industrial water is now a contestable market operated by a market operator who just sort of reconciles the transactions between the wholesalers and the retailers. And it is a blueprint that we should take notice of, because it is winning the hearts and minds of industrial customers, particularly, or commercial customers. But it won't be long before, people like you and I at home will be thinking, I just want one place to go to do what I need to do. Another way of describing that is the concierge model, which is kind of the role of a concierge is, hello today, how can I help you? You can do anything. And, it's open to disruption, I think.
I love that, guys. Is on? No, I love that, guys. I put the fire and everybody's on it. Love it. No, I think the most important thing is, I think what we're talking about, if I just put it back 5 years back, 10 years back, as SCW platform, and I have to give credit to everybody on this definitely panel and the industry. We had X capability, which was, I'm going to be very open with you, when we started as a residential or mass market persona, means thinking our customer experience platform will be connecting with the residential people. Our workforce, for good reasons, platform was planned only for trouble men, and in the journey, the workforce become ODR, the workforce become the meter technician, workforce become the AMI replacement program, and all. And here in the CX platform, for mass market, being a regulated industry focus, for mass market, it become completely commercial residential, agency personas, builder persona, because all they are customers, landlord personas and all. And within that, and I'm talking about how good reason dealers look very complex, and I'm going to show you one picture. Please don't get too much into it. But within that, all these different personas within one product and platform itself, and same thing for mobile workforce, our analytics platform, which was analytics platform, become an AI platform. Because we have so much data, we said, we don't want people to react. We want the system to act so that system can react, and if system cannot take the right decision, give it that intelligence back to the people who operate that. but so that we can take the uplift of 98% of that so-called mapping and matching on analytics and BI. And we continue on that journey. And I love that, we were talking about regulated, unregulated industry. We were in 2017, we cannot even talk about, or 16 I should say, cannot talk about, our product, an SAW platform can go and address a retail market customer. And the good news is we have a multiple retail customers, and the biggest, most successful retailer in Australia, and this is coming from the CEO of Simply Energy and the CIO of Simply Energy. Not only they were able to operate, extended the platform, the CX platform, to their customer. Now they are able to retain the customer on the platform. They don't even really think at all that customer is going to jump, because customer is real time connected. This is the first time the CEO said, Sharon and Sarvesh, who is the CIO and the CIO of Simply Energy, they said, Deepak, we were so amazed to see how customer experience and convenience cannot we were used to think people will switch between Simply Energy and Red Energy, and there were multiple retailers, because they are getting the best cost for the servicing. They said they didn't want to shift because they don't have any good experience. This platform made us what we are. And that's really make us more and more excited about what else we can do. That's why, for all the good reason, and Thomas, I love that when you said that, it's always going to be a utility going to push us. And I don't want to take the credit. We built, sitting in a garage, all these capability. All the utilities and our partner pushed us in last 3,650 days, which is our 10 years of history, and 24 hours to tell us do different, Doesn't matter, we talk about chatbot, we talk about all these personas. It was always, why the heck? And I'm telling you, I'm being, like, we can talk about how much good stuff we did and how much innovative we are. No. A lot of these ideas, please, I'm being very open. Except our customer said, hey, and I know that I loved Trevor when you made that statement. We didn't even know that we have a CRM till 6 years back. When our utility said, this, what you called as an admin portal or customer service portal, it's better than, I will not name that, the number one, CRM, which is so horizontal, it's take too much time and doesn't work. I have to make this connection and all. And I think that's really is this industry is all about. And I know that, when we talk about what it takes, to build a platform, connected platform like this. And I know that we were showing you the another 3 products line, platform lines and all. This is a stake to build that. You can see, and I know it is a little bit busy diagram and we can make it more busy, where, for anything. In this slide deck, I can tell you one thing is, you're looking more than 40 companies, a standalone company in the energy market try to go to the utilities and try to give one standalone service. Doesn't matter, we talk about energy reporting, we talk about energy dissag, we talk about this, we got whatever, sorry, outage management, notification, energy efficiency, DIA programs and all, and we just get amazed. It was a reality, it was a need 5 years back because there was no integrated platform. And for us, building this was not yesterday because we thought we want to build it something, we want to sell it something, let's work on it. We don't want to fake it. We want to be real about that. And this is what it takes. And that's make us today be another only one single integrated platform from all the way to the customer to the mobile workforce and connected. And you can see that when Trevor was talking about GIS data, when you talk about the asset data, when you talk about work management, when you talk about CIS, you talk about Oracle, Maximo, SAP, you talk about Esri. We integrated that all available. We don't need ESB buses across the board to do it because we know that. Those are standard enterprise service buses. It takes so much time for people to build, and if you change underlying system, it breaks everything. So we are talking about truly a very, very good complicated. It's complicated only when we look this diagram. It's easy for us because we built it everything from scratch, and we made it to ensure that make it easy for our utilities so that they don't spend endless time to get the things integrated, endless time to get the things right, and they're now talking to 20, 40 different people to get one problem solved. And that's, as a platform, we are giving any integration available on earth, at least for the utility, we know that, out of the box, to ensure that it is available to the utility. So I will leave that over here. Otherwise, I will keep showing that slide deck and people guess what the heck I'm talking. But this is really make us what we feel is connected platform. Everything, and I love that when, one thing which I caught when the Thomas made the statement during the digital twins, and he was so right on one point, and a lot of points, but one point. He said, I want to first get digital before I get the digital twin. And this is a reality right now. I think how we can help our utilities partner to get whatever they have, leverage that. We don't need to spend, we don't need to get all new softwares into it. Let's see what we have right now. Doesn't matter they have SAP, they have Oracle, they have Esri, they have a legacy system. Have to bring the value and get the value faster, rather than later. And I think we feel very proud when we've been challenged by the biggest utility globally, any utility, we'll name it, when we say that. And I'm very proud, at least in last 3-4 years, when we were challenged by NISO, say, can we get chatbot live, fully AI bot, end-to-end integrated in 3 months? And I said, yes, we can. And Janet said, Deepak and team, are you sure? I said, yeah, we are sure. We gone live, and they said, we didn't even know that. They were getting awards, and they're sending the email to us, this is what it is. We are able to deflect 1.1 million calls coming in. They have a 4.2 million customer for sure. That's, we can take the 25%, 30% of their call with a 98% accuracy. The bot able to solve, because what we did, and I'm sharing this inside mantra of our team, I said, when we are building this AI bot for our customer experience platform, this bot have to be the most intelligent person in the customer service they have in the utilities. That person, the bot, the AI should know that, how to solve the problem. And believe or not, every day our AI team was looking where the decision tree is breaking. Because human brain, just like AI, work the same way. And I know that I have one session, I put that online, we will do it later on. And I will close with this statement is, if human doesn't have intelligence, that human cannot create that AI. AI is not God-gifted. To build an AI, you need to understand the data, you need to understand use cases. That human who is writing that algorithm or building the use case have to deeply integrate to themselves as a team to that use case. And this is why a lot of people talk about AI and a lot of people cannot give the right value through the platform to the AI. So I think this is what we feel as a connected platform, and we want all of the utilities and our partner to challenge us, what you guys want, what you want to solve. And we're going to be very true about that. We will solve. We'll never say no. I know that a lot of people try to kill us for that. Linda's looking to me on that. We will never say no, but we'll say we will get that in maybe 12 months. We'll get that in 6 months. We'll get in 3 months as a part of the product. Or if we need to do customization, we'll always say, please don't do that, because we are the one, we'll say, please don't do customization. Wait for it another 12 months, 6 months, 3 months, we'll get that capability in. So please, thank you for all that time. And I know we all spent all of you drove, flying in from 6-hour flight to 22-hour flight, doesn't matter, but thank you guys. Thank you for all of you coming over here. Jason, you want to put a closing words,
Thank you.
You need to go.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Deepak. Thank you so much for a great panel.
See, I know that.
Thank you, everyone. That concludes our 2022 WE3 Summit.